Let's start with a satellite orbiting Earth, projecting a sweeping sensor beam over rugged, mountainous terrain, using multispectral imagery to identify promising mineral targets. This happens long before a single drill rig arrives. Scanning from space drastically cuts both the cost and time required to find viable targets, far outperforming traditional ground-based surveying on foot. But finding a target is only the beginning. The core challenge of modern mining is absolute commitment. Engineers must commit billions of dollars to move millions of tons of solid rock, relying almost entirely on data gathered from hundreds of meters underground. And before excavation begins, that physical data is incredibly sparse. You cannot see the deposit, and you cannot touch the vast majority of it. To solve this, engineers build a highly detailed three-dimensional digital blueprint. This model maps the exact shape, location, and grade of the hidden mineral deposit. Before a single ton of rock is moved, constructing this mathematical blueprint determines whether a project becomes a lucrative, multi-generational mine or an unimaginably expensive hole in the ground. The translation of physical Earth into digital data starts on the ground with exploration drilling. Heavy drill rigs extract cylindrical rock core samples from deep underground, positioned at carefully spaced locations across the entire target deposit. This image shows a physical core sample resting in a geological logging tray with depth markers. Every segment of this rock is assayed, chemically tested in a lab to determine the exact concentration of valuable minerals it holds. Geologists log this physical data to interpret the underlying structure. They identify rock types, map out fault lines, and track mineral distribution patterns deep within the Earth. But a box of rocks only tells you what exists exactly at the location of the drill hole. To plan a mine, you have to digitize it. We can map this into a 3D coordinate space. Here, the physical drill holes are represented as thin, vertical arrays of colored data points plunging down into the subsurface. Notice the scale of the empty space between these isolated vertical arrays. We are looking at a massive, unsampled void. This is the core data gap of mine planning. Engineers know the exact mineral grade directly inside that 2-inch drill hole, but they have zero physical data for the tens of meters of solid rock sitting between them. Excavating millions of tons of rock blindly is financially impossible. Engineers must mathematically calculate the contents of that entire void based solely on these sparse data threads. To fill the void, engineers turn to a mathematical discipline known as geostatistics, which estimates ore grade in areas that were never physically sampled. The specific interpolation technique used to generate these statistically sound estimates is an algorithm called Kriging. Let's zoom in on a single, empty cubic coordinate space situated exactly between 3 distinct known data points to see how the math works. Kriging calculates the unknown grade by drawing statistical influence from the surrounding known data values, filling the empty center with an estimated grade. The logic relies heavily on distance. Known points that are physically closer to the empty cube exert a statistically heavier mathematical influence on the final estimated value than the points farther away. The software repeats this exact calculation millions of times, rapidly dividing the entire deposit into a continuous 3-dimensional grid. The final output is the 3D block model. Every single block in this model now contains an estimated mineral grade and an assigned rock type. From here, we apply resource classification. The blocks are categorized into inferred, indicated, or measured resources based purely on the statistical confidence level of the surrounding physical data. Through Kriging, isolated physical rock samples are transformed into a complete, probabilistic digital twin of the entire underground geology. Just because minerals exist in the ground doesn't mean you can actually build a mine. In mining finance, there is a strict difference between a mineral resource, which is simply the total estimated tonnage in the ground, and a mineral reserve, which is the specific portion of that deposit demonstrated to be economically viable to extract. The strict financial boundary that separates a resource from a reserve is called the cutoff grade. Looking at this model alongside our cutoff grade slider, we can see how this works. The cutoff grade is the minimum ore concentration required for the rock to be profitable, given current extraction costs and commodity prices. When we apply this economic filter to the geological model, any block with a value falling below the threshold turns flat gray. These gray blocks are classified strictly as waste rock. Even though they might still contain trace amounts of valuable minerals, it costs more to process them than they are worth. The shape of a mineable reserve is dictated entirely by economics. An identical geological deposit will yield drastically different mine shapes depending on the current market price of the commodity. Once the reserve is defined, engineers move to mine planning, determining the exact sequence and method for extracting the ore based on the block model. For open-pit mines, they rely on pit optimization software to calculate the most profitable physical shape for the excavation. The core metric driving this calculation is the strip ratio. This dictates exactly how many tons of waste rock must be removed to reach a single ton of profitable ore. This diagram highlights the geometric challenge of open-pit mining. Reaching deeper ore requires digging a progressively wider cone at the surface, forcing you to capture massive amounts of gray waste blocks just to access the payload. The software expands the cone until it hits a mathematical wall. The pit shell stops growing exactly when the cost of removing the overlying waste rock equals the profit of the underlying ore. This defines a rigid boundary between the excavated area and the unmined earth. Long-term mine planning uses this final boundary to sequence extraction over the projected life of the mine, often spanning 20 years or more, ensuring the sequence maximizes overall project value. This optimized pit shape is heavily constrained by physical realities. Infrastructure requirements like haul roads, tailings storage, and waste dumps, combined with strict environmental permitting, dictate what is actually feasible to build. Short-term planning takes that massive 20-year sequence and breaks it down into exact, actionable production schedules for the active fleet on a monthly, weekly, and daily basis. Through pit optimization, management ensures that every single truckload of rock moved is mathematically proven to contribute to the overall profitability of the operation. Even after all this calculation, a finalized mine plan is never truly static. It is permanently tethered to global markets. Engineers constantly perform sensitivity analysis, a process that tests exactly how profitability changes when operating costs or commodity prices fluctuate. Here is our optimized pit shell and block model. If global commodity prices drop, it forces an immediate recalculation. Lower prices raise the cutoff grade, shrinking the reserve. Vast sections of profitable ore instantly turn to gray waste rock, dynamically reshaping the pit. Accurate ore body modeling and thorough planning are the only things keeping projects financially viable, remaining structurally safe, and environmentally responsible. Every subsequent engineering decision in a mine's life cycle builds directly upon the mathematical foundation of the block model, and that data dictates the physical reality of the site. In the next episode, we will look at how this exact mathematical foundation is used to make the ultimate engineering decision every project faces, choosing whether to dig an open pit or take the operation entirely underground.